Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're going to talk about something super personal. Right now, I want you to picture that one massive dream you've been sitting on. Yeah, you know the one. Maybe it's a completely new career, a business idea, or some crazy creative project that's been kicking around in your head for 2, 3, maybe even 5 years. You've been dreaming huge, but let's be honest, doing absolutely nothing about it. Well, Today, that changes. We're going to deconstruct exactly what's holding you back, and we're going to do it by looking at a truly fascinating case study. We'll be talking about a creator named Sandeep Swadia, who literally sat on his own dream for 5 long years before he finally pulled the trigger. Okay, let's dive into this. When you actually sit down and ask yourself, why haven't I started yet? The answer is almost never a lack of time or a lack of money. It is way deeper than that. Looking at Sandeep's journey, we learn that there are 3 incredibly specific, super subtle psychological traps that just get in our way. These traps basically trick us into stalling, hiding, and ultimately never starting at all. But here's the good news. If you can spot them, you can escape them. And hey, if you're sitting there wondering if breaking past these mental barriers is actually worth it, just take a look at this number. 1,200,000. That is the staggering number of subscribers Sandeep gained on his YouTube channel in just 8 months after he finally broke free of those traps. I mean, wow, this isn't just some nice theory we're throwing around. This is concrete proof that when you finally get out of your own way, the results can absolutely explode. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We just touched on the unstarted dream. And next up, we're going to systematically break down those 3 traps. Trap 1 is imposter syndrome. Trap 2 is the AI excuse. And trap 3 is the misfit identity. And then we'll wrap the whole thing up with how you can start playing your own song.
All right, moving right along to trap 1, imposter syndrome and betting on yourself.
You see, having ambition, that's never the issue. The real problem is how we see ourselves. We all have this pesky internal narrative telling us we just aren't worthy of the spotlight, right? We'd literally rather bet on anyone else but ourselves. And to really grasp how deeply rooted this can be, just look at Sandeep's timeline. Get this, as a teenager, he ran away from home to become a monk in training. We're talking sweeping courtyards, eating 1 meal a day, the whole shebang. Then he pivots, goes to MIT, grinds it out on Wall Street, and ultimately becomes a highly successful tech CEO and board member with 2 massive exits. You'd think a guy with a resume like that would be just dripping with unshakable confidence, right? Nope. Turns out, imposter syndrome sticks around no matter how much worldly success you rack up. At literally every single phase of that wild journey, there was a tiny voice repeating in Sandeep's head. What am I doing here? I don't belong here. I'm not supposed to be here. So when he finally decided to launch a creative project, a YouTube channel, he was terrified of doing it solo. He actually tried to drag his old bandmates into it with him because, back in the day, he was a drummer, so he only felt safe hiding in the back. And when they said no, he went out and hired an entire agency just to manage the process. He was constantly, desperately searching for a partner or a co-founder, just so he wouldn't have to bet purely on himself. It went so far that he actually hid behind a pseudonym. He told his agency, call the channel whatever you want, just don't use my real name. They ended up with the MIT Monk. And Sandeep, he heaved this massive sigh of relief because he could just safely hide behind that avatar. But a few months later, the channel started blowing up, and MIT actually called and politely asked him to drop their name from his brand. Fast forward to a Zoom call, and his chief of staff looks him dead in the eye and types his actual name, Sandeep Swadia, right onto the homepage. Sandeep said he felt intensely uncomfortable just seeing his own name up there. The truth is, finally accepting that you deserve the spotlight all on your own is absolutely terrifying.
So here's your massive takeaway for this first trap. Studies actually show that only about half of the people who intend to follow their dreams ever actually do it. It's basically a coin flip. Why? Because doing the work is always harder than dreaming about it. You've got to realize that you are waiting around for your own permission to start. And honestly, that permission is never going to come. So stop waiting. Go out and make the absolute smallest possible bet on yourself today. Just take that very first step.
Okay, let's jump into trap 2, the AI excuse, and this whole idea of human versus machine. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down creation. People are always asking, why even bother starting when AI can just do it faster? It feels like the game's over before you even hit play. But look at this contrast. On one side, you have the cold-blooded craft of the machine, and on the other, the hot-blooded emotion of the human heart and brain. Sure, AI can crank out grammar, structure, and speed without breaking a sweat, but what is it missing? That hot-blooded emotion, the intuition, the imagination, the messy human judgment. There's a great quote from the legendary Indian poet Javed Akhtar. He pointed out that it's actually the contradiction, the struggle between these two sides, that gives your work its entirely unique, poetic, human fingerprint.
But, it's not just machines we use as a crutch. We also hide behind the experts. When Sandeep first started, his channel was getting zero traction. The experts swooped in and handed him their standard playbook. They basically said, speak incredibly fast, wave your hands around like crazy, beg for subscribers 3 different times, keep everything under 10 minutes, and oh yeah, use a whiteboard. Sandeep actually tried it, but he couldn't even recognize the guy looking back at him on the screen. He realized pretty quickly that just adopting some standard operating process turns you into exactly that, a commoditized standard product. You just end up blending into all the AI slop out there.
So you know what he did? He just stopped performing. He dropped the act and started having an actual authentic conversation with the camera. And something beautiful happened. Around his 5th video, totally by accident, he blurted out, "I love you all," right at the end. It was completely unplanned and honestly a little bit awkward. His agency immediately wanted to edit it out, but Sandeep said, "No, let's keep it." Why? Because it was a genuine, real human moment. And guess what? It became his signature sign-off. Listen, no playbook, no expert, and definitely no AI in the world would have handed him that line. Authentic human emotion and judgment will outshine the machine every single time. That is the secret to avoiding being a commodity.
Which brings us right to trap 3, the misfit identity, and the art of harmonizing your experience. And this brilliantly illustrates what we do to ourselves. We spend so much of our lives trying to squeeze ourselves into one neat little box, right? We want to be just a lawyer or just an engineer. And we look at our messy, disconnected past experiences as flaws. Think of it like a guitar. A standard guitar has 6 strings. Each one has a totally different thickness, a different tension, and is tuned to a completely different note. If you just smack all the open strings without knowing what you're doing, it sounds awful. It's just noise. But if you learn to press them down at certain specific points, like playing those classic, simple cowboy chords, suddenly each different string resonates with the others to create harmony. A gorgeous, totally unique sound.
Well, your identity works exactly like that guitar. For the longest time, Sandeep felt like Wall Street Sandeep had absolutely nothing to do with Monk Sandeep, which had nothing to do with Creator Sandeep. But the truth is, you have to bring all your strings to the dream. If you only bring one tiny part of yourself to your work and you leave all those other quirky, misfit identities at home, you are never going to make real music. The absolute magic happens when you mash up your own completely unique combination of average and above average gifts. That specific harmony, it literally doesn't exist anywhere else in the universe. It is 100% yours.
So, what does this all mean for you? Let's take a look at some Monday morning action items so you can finally start playing your song.
Turning a massive, terrifying dream into a reality doesn't take some sudden cinematic explosion of pure talent. It really just takes a systematic process to dodge those 3 traps we just talked about. Step 1, bet on yourself. Make the absolute smallest, tiniest bet you can make just to get moving today. Seriously, don't wait for anyone's permission. Step 2, lean hard into your human judgment. Forget about perfectly optimized AI or guru playbooks. Your messy, hot-blooded intuition is your biggest advantage. And step 3, never ever stop experimenting. Treat your dream like a giant science lab. Try playing all your different strings together in new ways. Because here's the secret. As you do this, you're going to change the shape of your dream. And in a crazy interactive chain reaction, that dream is going to fundamentally change you.
I want to leave you with this final, lingering thought. All of those beautiful, messy misfit strings that make up exactly who you are, all that human emotion you've been hiding away, they are completely useless if you just keep them locked up inside an unstarted dream. Because a note you never play cannot become a song. So please, stop waiting. The only question you have to answer now is, what is the very first note you're going to play tomorrow?